Flood stories, gully erosion, depletion of coastal areas, and lots more are some issues that have stared us in the face lately. Now, questions have been asked and answers given. But a one-time Surveyor General of the country and Professor of Survey and Geoformatics, Professor Peter Onwilo, who also has carried out extensive studies on these environmental influences, joins us on Eyewitness Report as we fix our gaze on finding ways out of this quagmire.
Southeast Nigeria has had a fair share of ecological challenges to grapple with, which has resulted in losses of infrastructure and other household items. Anambra is said to have thousands of active erosion sites, which has shrunk the landmass of the state further with almost every rainfall. The effect of gully erosion is also visible in other states such as Imo, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, as well as Edo and Delta. According to a professor of survey and geoformatics of the University of Lagos and a one-time Surveyor General of the Federation, Professor Peter Onwilo, there is reasonable evidence that the unusual susceptibility of the soil, human activities, the topography and weather conditions, including groundwater flow, contribute to massive flooding and erosion in the area.
God has provided us with so much facility that we should be able to do something. If you look at very old maps of Nigeria, in those maps they showed flood plains. In other words, where flood will naturally go to, flood plains. The old maps of Nigeria showed that. As the Surveyor General, I came across all those maps. They're there. How many people bother to check? Now we have what we call digital elevation model. Those things are there. You can use it to look at a state like Lagos, and you'll see how flood will naturally flow. And so in your planning, you must take that into consideration. The unfortunate thing is that professionals don't bother about these things. The elevation models originally come from what we call a contour. From the contour, you will know how the flow will naturally flow. When you go and block a natural flow of water, either by construction or by some filling to construct or whatever, you have created a problem.
There has also been cases of flooding in Lagos, such as the Jula encounter that hits the island and thereafter some parts of the mainland. Professor Onwilo attributes this to environmental factors coupled with human activities that may have altered the existing nature course in the region.
A lot has to do with global warming. Because one of the things that happen with global warming is increased flooding. Increased flooding is part of it. Whether on land, because you might start having more rainfall than ordinarily we should have. That is one of the expectations in global warming. Like I said, when you look at a place like Lagos, the flooding in Lagos is as a result of water coming from the hinterland. When I say hinterland, all the water bodies in Southwest, virtually all of them empty into the Lagos Lagoon or the creek that join the Lagos Lagoon. So when it comes, it becomes devastating. Now it's becoming more frequent, and that is the first. So that's one of the manifestations in climate change. Because when you talk of climate change, what do we mean by climate change? The temperature is changing, it's increasing. Our studies show that the temperature in Lagos has changed drastically. In fact, some of these things can be another day, because our study clearly shows that there's a change in climate in Lagos due to human action. Of course, the present climate change is due to human action. So, if Lagos mainland, the temperature has increased, and we're also experiencing those things towards Badagry. Those things are being exposed. And if you look at towards Egbe, the same things are happening. And if you look at where the trees have not been destroyed, the temperature is stable. And so that's why we're talking of planting of trees, trying to, because what is the natural thing? If you have trees and population is increasing, the trees will absorb the carbon dioxide and will give out oxygen, so you breathe better. But we have removed all the trees. So what takes the carbon dioxide, which are what we call the greenhouse gases, they will be in the environment, and so we'll be increasing temperature. That's what is happening in Lagos today, and it's very phenomenal.
Makurdi in Benue State has also been underwater for some weeks now, in spite of preparations made to avert this recurrent decima. Professor Nwilo opined that Makurdi lies within the low-lying area, which is a major reason for the flooding. He, however, averred that the loss of wetlands and other buffer zones meant to be natural drains to building sites cannot be overlooked.
Makurdi sits on a natural low-lying area. Low-lying area relative to the environment. So, and unfortunately, the planning has been faulty. You have not provided for natural drains, Then people's habit, you have gutter, carry everything and put into the gutter. Some will get to the water, to the main water, but that's part of what we call pollution of the water causes. You throw all of them, some of them will remain on the bank. When your drainage is part of your refuse dump, what do you expect? When a system has not planned and provided big drainages for the water, what do you expect? In a place that is naturally low-lying. I'm sure you remember the 2012 flood. It affected very much, and we're not saying we're already free from them. You remember what happened in Lokoja? You remember what happened in Anambra? You remember what happened in Delta? In Niger Delta, floods of as much as 9 meters high is common. It happens every year. And we say there are two major flood regimes. The one that happens around from now up to, from August to maybe October. So we're not yet out of it. We need to understand what is happening around us. Study your environment. So that's what is happening. Makurdi is happening. I told you, I want to say that what is happening in Makurdi is because there is development. If you go to Anambra Basin, if you go out in June, you won't come back until the flood goes. Because we won't know where the land is. Unless you have the GPS to know your house and know how to get back to it. But it's not reported because people have found a way of managing. And they may not be as populated as. When it happens, everybody will have to move. So Anambra River Basin is a big issue.